pretty wild over there, when
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
inside, but it was still
Yeah.
feeling. Hey,
Hi,
Tim.
Tim.
Do you read us?
Hey, Mary Jo.
Good morning, how are you?
It's evening, Mary
You
Jo.
can't tell. It starts so early.
Maybe she's in a different time zone.
We have,
Hey, Chuck.
we have a new visitor here. Say, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ann, where do you want to sit? You can sit right here.
I was gonna sit in the balcony.
Hi, Ann.
You can sit right in. Turn the light on.
Should I
All right.
list you as a visitor, Ann? Ann, should I list you as a visitor?
I'm sorry, what?
Should I list you as a visitor? We don't get many, so I really don't know what to do.
For an intruder.
All right, it's 6:30. This is the November meeting of the North Hero Parks and Rec meeting. Introduce ourselves for the recording, Jean Mellerall, Chair.
Bernice Patel, Secretary.
That's Amesbury, remember?
Chip Porter, member, if you could turn the,
Yeah.
thank you.
Get where that is. Did it say on? I thought it said on. Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay. Nobody
Michael
caught.
Clausen, remember?
Bonnie Cody, member?
Tim O'Reilly, remember?
John Scutel, member.
Online?
Mary Jo McCarthy, member?
And Tim Bourne, Select Board Representative.
Okay. Any adjustments to the agenda? Okay. And we need to approve the October 1st meeting minutes.
So.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
It's hard to get correct, because I think it's just a protocol to after the discussion before.
Yeah, I know. I know. I gotta get into my rut. And introduction of visitors, we have Ann Porter here. Any public comment?
No, we on my own.
I'm sorry?
No E on her, Aaron, Ann.
Oh. Okay, first up is the annual town report. I think the final version with comments has gone around. Is there any further comment?
Just thank you.
Bernie, you put that together? Thank you very
It
much.
took me about 10 tries, right, Jane? Back and forth.
I just want to say, I think that was an impressive list of accomplishments that were in there.
I thought so. It's hard to squeeze it all in. I had to keep going down on my font size, you know?
I think we need
Well,
to request.
Corinne
pages.
will only allow one page, so,
I know she will. She's pretty strict about that. And no, I can't fit any photos in, unfortunately. Okay, was there a motion on that?
Nope, not yet. Is there any other changes then? No, a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the town report as written.
Second?
I'll second.
Go ahead, Tim.
Any comments? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, next up at the parks, the first thing is the boardwalk project. Do you want to give an update?
Well, I think, Jean is in the process of writing a grant for
Yeah, I'll
it,
speak to
and-
that in a minute.
And Chip and I have collaborated on a description that we will basically set up for the next meeting, the December meeting to approve. It'll give us we have to do a little revision between us. And then it will go around to everybody, so we'll have a chance to read it. It's basically a project description and the budget. So it's pretty straightforward, but.
And you're prepping this for the grant
Well, the
application?
grant is happening. This is basically for us to have something official
As a reference.
as a reference to approve that has a good project description and a good project budget. It still would have to go out to you get a budget of a real budget estimate from a contractor but it gives us a good baseline that we all agree on and approve.
So where we stand with the grant is the grant window for the pre-application opened up on October 14th and the pre-application is due, which is a screening process, is due on December 6th. So they take these pre-applications, which are short, review them and make sure it aligns with the objectives of the program. And then they'll invite us back, if we do, to do a full application, which would be done at the end, due at the end of January. The decision on the grant would probably happen in the April-June timeframe, and then we would have from that August of next year to the following December, a year and a half, to actually use the money. It's not looking great. This is federal money going through state. The reason it's not looking all that great is that they're down money from last year, so they've only got a 500,000, but they've parse it out to ATV trails and other objectives like multi-use trails. And so the trails section that we fit into, there's only 150,000. There were 30 people on the call. They allow up to 50,000 per grant. So it's a tough odd. So I think after getting this going, need to look for another one to see. There is a second one that the Forest Group of Vermont has, but it's a 50% match, and I don't see how we could do a 50% match.
But you said 30 people were on the call, 30 people for that category or 30 people?
That I don't know, but
Okay.
still 30 people doesn't distribute much over $500,000. So, and I don't know if they'll get cleared through the screening, that type of thing. What I did is you saw the budget that, that John had last month, and it was somewhere around $35,000. In order to get the biggest bang out of this, what I did is I added other components to the project that we would have to do anyway, such as project management and some cleanup work, signs, that type of thing that we would use volunteers work, because you can use volunteers to offset that match, the 20 to 80% match. And so the total budget now is up to 44,000 roughly. Of that, we would have to do somewhere around 9,000, but cash out of our budget would be 1,400. The rest would be out of the town's budget for Lisa's time or volunteer time. Now, we put into the budget about 4,500, but that would be our contingency budget. You know, if anything goes over, we're not gonna get any more money from the state. So if it's a little bit more expensive, that would have to come out of our budget. So,
Well, at the last meeting, I said I would write a waiver request to the 3 permitting agencies, and I completed that, and we can, so that's available whenever you.
so there is a process for the permitting that you have to use their navigation tool and submit that information right now. And then you need to contact directly the folks within the part of the organization, let's say wetlands in our case, to have them make an assessment. And so I'm not sure what that assessment looks like, given that this is now state money.
I've completed, I've looked at their applications, the process, and all the criteria that they would require is stuff I've considered. Whenever you need to have it,
Okay,
it's ready.
okay, thank you.
Pretty much, my recommendation would be to write them a letter first, not put an application. But we can discuss that, as well as So, and John and one of our latest exchanges suggested I write a summary. That summary is also available.
So the application, this is just a pre-application right now. The real one's not due until the end of January. So I don't want to invest too much time before we get like an answer back in December.
It's, there was no way, when I started it, I didn't feel that I could do it halfway, so I just did the whole thing and it's ready.
Okay, thank you.
That would probably be, helpful if we were gonna be doing this project on our own without the state grant.
Well, I did write the waiver request so that it would be good for the
Either
project
way.
that John and I talked about, as well as one that we might do on our own.
Okay.
Because we've had, we and a lot of other people have had very poor success rates in getting money. So we may have to go ahead and do this. But at this point, John and I agreed that the specific thing that I think we agreed that the specific thing we were working on was just the grant.
Okay,
Yes, and the outline of the project and the budget.
you're correct that it's tough. I heard from Michael Freth that the South Hero Land Trust hasn't been able to get any grant in several years too. So we'll just keep trying. There's a few other opportunities to send. Now, Michael, I sent a form in. I'm not sure if that's exactly what you guys wanted, but Lisa has it too.
Yeah, I think at this point, that's all we need because it's so preliminary.
It is, because it's probably gonna, well, I know the numbers have changed a bit here and there as we're tweaking stuff.
I think-
on the-
I think the only thing to do is once, if you pass the preliminary stage.
Make it real.
Just say, but it's still not real after the whole process there. But I think just keeping at least something form is the way to go.
Okay, and then Tim, we would bring this to the select board after we get through the screening phase, before we would do the real submission in to get approval to go ahead with the grant.
That sounds perfect.
Okay, but it's a waste of time now until we get it through the screening phase, I
Yep,
think.
yep.
Any questions on either what we're doing or the grant itself? Okay. All right, moving on then. Anything else with P-lots?
Well, I'm not sure where we left it, but there were a couple treads that needed to be replaced on the boardwalk. And I got the lumber and I did get in touch with two volunteers, the scrimgers, who laid most of the asphalt shingles on the current boardwalk. And although we didn't do it yet, they committed to helping me put in more treads. And I think we'll try to use some of that lumber and the existing lumber to repair a couple of sections.
Is that the sticks and stuff bill that just came in?
Well, it was for, I believe it, from Swanton Lumber, it's probably $45.
Okay,
It
Okay.
sticks and stuff too.
we'll get,
They bought Swanton lumber.
okay, we'll get to that later when we do the receipts. Anything else on P-lots? Ingalls, the kitchen.
Kitchen, I've been in there for the past couple days. Doing the fill-ins behind the cabinets and a bunch of fussy work, and and that's pretty much complete now. I'm working, trying to meet Tracy Jouer there. He's done some rough in on the electrical. And we have to do a little coordination of where the boxes are actually gonna go in before I do the final anchoring of the platform. So the platforms come out from the window and then drop down, so they're all raised platforms behind the cabinets now. I'm also gonna, tomorrow, that's all, I've got that completed except for the final anchoring and putting a finish on the stuff. I'm also gonna finish the walls, each side of the sink area, the kitchen area,
Meaning the walls.
the side walls
Those
that we never
big beams.
finished, yeah, because we weren't sure where the electrical was going, so we left that off, so I'll finish that. I'll also finish the trim board across the ceiling that we never got to doing, where the transition happens, where the roof ceiling comes in and the side comes up. I have material for that. And, hopefully tomorrow I'll also put on the roof for the toolbox and the hasp. I'm gonna go down in the morning and pick up, a hasp, some drip edge and, something else I have to pick up too, obviously, so.
I know that. Drop it off.
Sure, if you have one, that's would be great.
For any of that, do we need to pre-approve any funds? Is anything?
We have everything.
Okay,
I have all the material
okay,
for all of that. I will use up the pine that we have. Which means that I don't have enough pine to trim the windows out. But none of the other windows are trimmed either, so. If we want to trim the windows, we can do that out of a separate project.
okay, the plumber.
The plumber has turned the water off. There was an issue. Pete called me after he turned the water off. And this is a little later than he usually turns it off because we left it on for the school event. And he said he got there and the curb stop somebody had turned the curb stop on. He talked to Tracy. Tracy hadn't done it. He talked to Kevin at the water department. He hadn't done it. So it's kind of a mystery.
Yeah.
Well, it can be dangerous.
Well, it could, his concern was that if somebody is fooling around with that stuff. And now he's got the water turned off in the longhouse and the field cabin, but it's all open-ended. So if somebody went in there and turned that curb stop on, it would flood out the longhouse. So he went back, he had to go back over to do something and he undid the union at the ground. By the field cabin. So if somebody turns it on, it's just gonna come out of the ground and not go up to the longhouse or into the field cabin. So it was kind of a mystery. Who would even think to do that? So.
Turn it on.
It comes in my ears, that's what you can hear. So that was, what happened with that, Bernie, on the final cleaning has been done.
Yes, it has been done. Well, I guess it will have to be done again after your work.
Well, I'm set up in there now, basically do that work, my whole shop is there. Yeah, it looks.
We're gonna have trekking
Nice
through for
space.
great ice.
Nice workspace.
I'm not gonna worry about calling you about that.
Okay.
But, let's see, that's all I have. Trail signs? Trail sign, what's going on with the trail sign?
For.
Angles,
Not much, yeah.
okay,
Terry's coming back, or she is back.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think she's just back, so I'll have to check in with her. I think she wanted to talk to Chip about the names to use on the trails, right?
We had a brief discussion, but
Okay. We'll probably get in touch with you.
And, Scott, you wanna talk about the trail map and stuff? I'm sorry. I was kinda doing the angles thing.
Scott, you wanna talk about it?
Sure, so. You all set?
Mhm.
Okay, so Chip's been doing a lot of work on the brochure, and he's gotten all of the information that he'd like to share and we'd like to share about the trail system and the natural features that are there and so on. It's done 2 sections on it that are really great, how you walk along through the trail system, and it's done like you did at Pilots, it's done as icons and descriptions of the natural features, and it's really nice. And so we put together, he and I worked one day and we put together a trifold. That I think I sent around to everybody. Here's a couple of samples that I just printed off today. So, look at them.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And he and I talked about the nature of Ingalls versus the nature of Pilots a little bit, and I kept having sort of a frustration of I didn't think we were able to get everything about Pilots in the trifold. So I put it out to a few people who are not involved, and I got back some of the same sort of feedback from a couple of them, that there's more to Ingalls than just the trail. Just the trail is wonderful, but there's more. And so we're trying to figure out how to do that and couldn't figure out how to do it, and I couldn't figure out how to do it in a trifold. So I sent to Chip and to you all an example of what happens if we do a 4-fold. And it maintains everything Chip did about the natural features on the inside. I'm sorry, there's a couple more copies on the inside. But on the outside, it gets a little bit more information, keeps all the same history and about the partnerships and all that stuff. But it just adds some things about the longhouse, the story walk, and the stewards.
Especially the story walk.
I'm sorry, especially the story walk. Yeah. So, we have 2 versions, right? And, I guess we just wanted to.
It's all about the meeting with Chris and
Yeah, so I've contacted the partners and, I heard back from the land trust that he really can't meet until probably January. Because they're just so busy in their fundraising. And I did hear back at 5 o'clock today from the Nature Conservancy from John. And he said he was very pleased to hear from us, and he offered the names of 2 people. When that, I think you had one, at least one of them on your sheet.
Lynn?
Contacts. No, Laura. I've got it, in my emails. Yeah. I'll share it.
What's John's last name? Excuse me.
Binhammer? Binhammer? So it's like
John Binhammer, yeah.
Binhammer, yeah. And so he also said that, you know, glad to hear that we're doing something and they look forward to seeing what we're doing, and he'll stop by sometime when he's up here. That was the message back. So my suggestion was, and I think Chip concurs, but if not, please tell us, was that we move ahead with one or the other of these designs with the whatever amendments we want to make. So we at least have something for the Great Ice, which was Gene's real target.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, Chip and I can show these to our partners, and if they have any amendments or suggestions or whatever, we could integrate it in downstream. But the approach I took and it was to say, we've got a design and we just want to show it to you, rather than let's start with a white piece of paper. And they both seem okay with that. I hope we're all okay with that. So that's where we stand.
Well, and the nice thing is that, the rec committee has a really good working relationship with both the Nature Conservancy and the Land Trust, and I commend Scott for maintaining that.
It's your encouragement, so thank you. Yep, all good.
Do we know if there's any cost difference that we'd have to be worried about going to a?
One's on legal paper and one's on regular paper, but you know, they should both run through a printer and.
Well, the folding and stuff and
Yeah, how did you get the other ones folded?
they fold them for you, the printer does.
So they might There might be a small, I can't imagine it'd be large.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just didn't,
Does that mean that we're going to go with a quad fold? I would like that personally. Are we voting or what? Have we made a decision?
no,
No.
not yet.
So,
All right.
comment,
Back to the, it's back to the
Okay.
chair.
Back to the chair.
Well, one of the things I thought about the story wall is that in the original library, which I'm not recalling, but you probably do, somewhere in Vermont,
Montpelier.
they had a picture of a family in front of one of the panels.
Mhm.
And while we might wanna have the family and the panel, maybe not necessarily faces or faces of the kids and the specific story. But I thought that would be interesting book, especially since that would then bring more members of the community into it. Of course, I was being a little, I thought, well, we should get Harry Parker to come out with his kids.
With his child, yeah. Everyone.
But anyway, I thought that was a good, because the story walk certainly makes the nature area accessible to little kids.
Yeah, that's good. All we've done at this point is copy one of the pictures off the town website and paste it in. Right now, so we could.
I just took that off.
we
We
could
just took
take-
that book off.
Yeah, we could take a nice picture.
But Mary might be willing to go for that. I don't know any other families with little kids, but Mary, maybe Mary Jo would. Mary Jo, what do you think?
you're muted.
Would Mary Catherine be willing to have her picture taken with your granddaughter?
With Genevieve, yeah, sure, I'm sure she would. If she doesn't live in North Hero, of course.
But she's at school.
She's at
She's at-
school in North Hero, absolutely.
Are they on vacation now? I heard they were going away soon.
17th,
Okay,
next Sunday.
all right.
We
Okay.
could even take her grandmother of 3 generations.
No, no. Get the cute ones, get the photogenic ones.
Yeah, the little cute ones, that's right.
Well, I could do that. I got a good camera and I could go do that anytime.
Mhm.
Okay,
We can arrange it. Just. All right.
Well, my 2 cents is I like the trifold,
quad fold.
the quad fold. I think I think you needed that to get all of the information in there and to include butternut and, the two partners.
I liked it too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought the format, it had more white space. It wasn't as crowded as the trifold. And yeah, I like the quad.
So what's the next steps?
Next step is to clean it up if there are adjustments. So a new photo is one idea, and there were a couple of typos found.
Yeah.
that I'll fix.
Yeah, I found a meeting. Did you find that one?
Yeah.
Good,
And
And then-
Story should be uppercase.
okay, good.
The websites are backwards on the Nature Conservancy and the Land Trust. The links.
Backwards.
Find that out.
Yeah, I'll see, under Visit Lake Champlain, it's got nature.org.
Oh,
No, under the Learn More, find out what's going on,
Oh, okay.
oh,
on the other
Oh, they've
side.
been
other
switched.
side.
I got you.
I see.
Okay.
Yeah, so I gotta get the orientation right. Oh, and the map, as I said in my note to everybody, John did, I think he's done 2 interviews, right? To get to this point. And Chip had, added all of his icons and there are some adjustments that we'd like John to make. And so, that's the other thing we need to do is go back and finalize the map before we can finalize
So
something.
who's able to put the titles of the trails right on the map? Can he do that?
Well, I actually, I actually tried, but the image I was working with simply wasn't working. And so, and one of the things I had to do is cover up some of the trail names that were already on there. So yes, it would look like the Pilots map.
Okay, the reason
And it
I'm,
would also be, I couldn't color code it because he laid down those trails with a GPS, I assume a GPS tracker. But, Scott told me that, he wanted to complete what he needed to do all at once rather than,
so he'll get, that's on the next round.
Yep, so we'll get John and Terry, we think, right, to meet with us. And see if we can finish it out.
So the reason I'm asking is that when we were in between on the Pilots, it's almost impossible to get color printing done around here. And
Okay.
so I was just printing black and white ones and you can't see the trails
yeah.
on the thing to
Yeah.
put up there in the interim. And so it'd be nice to have the trail names on there in case we have to do something like that again.
Okay, yeah, one thought I hadn't discussed it with Jeff, but, was the section where he's got all his icons. Could be made a little more narrow,
right?
and then we could, even though it's not exact proportions, we could stretch out the map a little bit, you know.
Right.
Work it that way.
It was very difficult to work with.
Yeah, cause it came from John in a done thing that we couldn't alter, that Jeff couldn't alter, so we'll fix it up.
Okay, excellent.
Okay. And then I guess I'd have to pursue that question about printing and folding, where the had.
So I can call or send them an email and find out what the difference in price would be for, and whether they have the capability. I know they can do the trifold. I can find out whether they have the capability to do the quad.
Otherwise, bring to a meeting, and we'll all fold
Right? Right.
them.
Okay, so do you have what we need? Do we need to vote on this?
It's up to you.
I don't think we need to
I
vote.
did everything but the map done by December.
Yeah.
And just have that as a block.
Okay. So Chip's suggesting we can commit to having everything done except the map, because we don't.
And
know
then that
John's
would just
timing.
insert in?
Yeah, and as soon as we get it,
Okay,
we'll put it in, so.
I'd make a motion that, we pursue the Ingalls map in the quad fold format.
we're voting? Okay. A second?
I don't think it's required to vote.
No.
I
No?
don't think it does.
No.
Oh, okay.
Don't do it.
Well, I think we all agree.
Great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really
That was great. It was great to look at that. Yeah.
So we'll have final draft in December. Is that what we're saying?
Yep.
At the December meeting?
With possible, depending on John's schedule, whether we'll have the map all done by then, we don't know. We'll try to reach him tomorrow, see what he's up to.
Anything else on this? Anything else on Ingalls?
No.
Anything on the foot?
Sorry, I just remember one thing about the trail signs. Terry told me that, last time she bought the lumber, it came from up in, Albert. And it was pretty dirty, rough stuff, and I had to spend a lot of time kind of cleaning it up.
Didn't we pick that up?
So
Yeah,
if
we picked it up. Yeah.
Oh, you already got it?
No,
Oh, okay.
we picked up that last
Right,
batch.
right,
and it
right,
was-
yeah, you
Yeah.
It
know.
was pretty,
Yeah.
Sort of a
pretty-
funky place, for
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
So this time we thought we'd just buy it from Cedar Mill. It's only marginally more expensive and it's already in the budget, I believe.
I
But-
thought you were gonna, there was some Grand Isle mill that you were gonna check.
There is, yeah, and
In Grand Isle?
there's a
Oh,
guy that's got a mill in Grand Isle,
Okay.
he's got a portable sawmill, and he cuts a lot of cedar. Matt has used them, I did not get his name, but we've talked about the mill for other stuff, but I didn't
Yeah.
get that contact.
How about
so.
Hudax?
Hudax is expensive, and he doesn't really do live edge stuff, the cedar he does is, he calls it boat quality cedar, it's very nice stuff, I bought stuff there, but.
There's that place down by the airport too.
Coning.
Koenig, but it's not a mill, he's just a wholesaler.
But so we'll try to get if we get the lumber, I'm happy to make the blanks anytime. And then I could talk to Terry, once we get the names. I guess if it's okay, we'll just move forward with making the signs.
I'll get, the guy's contact information,
Great.
Okay, anything more on Ingalls? Anything on the footpath? Okay. Webpage. Scott, you had made a comment that we,
Sure. So I don't know if anybody else has had a chance. I know Bernie has.
I do that, basically do that, and
Yeah.
then, I put pictures up there and some of the same information, things like that.
Yeah.
The section, so all of the rules in terms of renting the longhouse are uploaded. The other stuff, I usually put the story workbook up. Summer camp information, the link to summer camp registration goes up there when registration opens. What needs to be improved is the information about our trail. So there's some information about lots and angles. Not a whole lot of information about the footpath in terms of
Mhm.
the historical piece of that, that information. So. Maybe we could think about improving that.
well, I think this also got buried somewhere when she moved it over, so it's hard to find even the brochures and stuff.
Some of those things are hard to find.
Yeah,
And there isn't, right now, we don't have like a welcome to, our nature areas and something, there could be something that leads
More
in.
information about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to enjoy, kind of some of the things we're doing on there.
Mhm.
And Chip's, monthly conservation
Are
things
great, yeah.
are, they're fundamentally buried in there. I don't know who has ever gone into the town thing to go to the next level, to find them. So we need to
There
talk about what
should
we
be a-
want to do with
There
those.
should be a specific link to that for
Yeah.
all of the CHIPS conservation reports, which initially he was sending them around to us and I sent them to Lisa, but I know that you're sending them directly to Lisa now. So it's month by month in terms of his conservation reports. I thought that'd be clear.
Yeah, I just got it. I'm looking at it now. I would just change the order for
Yeah,
the most recent to the least recent,
yeah,
but it's right.
it's pretty much
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I was more thinking about what it takes to get there. I mean, if you didn't
Oh.
know, those existed,
You might get tired.
how are you gonna get there? And are they, if they're an attraction,
I can't remember, what does it say?
shouldn't they be posted up front?
Yes, I think you could have a welcome
Yeah,
section with maybe little hyper.
so I'm not talking about big
Are you
changes, but
talking
I
about
think
like
if we,
putting it up on top?
yeah, or something like that, just.
Well,
a-
when our camps are happening, that's the big thing,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
So, yeah, so,
sure.
I think probably just a catchier title for our 3 different parks.
Okay.
And these brochures are gonna really help, because loading them into, for example, the Pilates brochure, putting that at Pilates, so that people can see the trail, they can download it, they can download the map, et cetera, et cetera. And I think we've talked about a QR code eventually, system where we can use a QR code and, get to that information. But
So I'm wondering
Not
how
to
robust
discuss
this
it much further than
website is.
that, just to add in one more element of things we should be thinking about doing after we get done with the brochure, is that there must be at least 4 or 5 websites out there that contain information about lots and angles that should be not only updated, but should include the island line.
Right.
We'll come to that.
Yeah, I think we can improve that trail section to make it more inviting, number one, to make it more visible. On the web page.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how robust that page is. Like,
Yeah.
right now, it's just stuff on it.
Right.
Can you have like a list of sub areas and just bounce to another area so that,
Like that.
yeah.
We can
Yeah.
talk to Lisa about that. So
Okay.
basically what I do is I send Lisa this and tell her sort of where to put it,
Yeah.
how to organize it. And she does all that stuff and where she is, and she does it pretty quickly, so.
Yeah.
I think like, thinking about which section that we want to review and renew. I think would be a good thing, and she
Yeah.
can, we
Yeah,
can
well-
meet with her and work out the design of it, how it appears and
Right.
how's it organized. and-
Yeah, what kind of rolled through my mind was maybe a little group that wanted to get together, look at the different websites and how that website flows. What are we trying to do with it, and just sort of have a master plan for that thing.
Sounds like the subcommittee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
But also, we have been talking about QR codes for a while.
Yeah.
And the holdup was waiting for the new website.
Right,
Now we have the new website. And so we could set up QR codes that would go right to the brochure on the website. So that way, somebody would be at Pilots and they'd go right to the website and get to,
So maybe that's part of that subgroup
yeah.
discussion
Yeah.
too on it, and then we could put one right on the kiosks.
Right.
There, yeah. So who would be interested in being involved? I gotta ask. Scott, it seems like you. Chip?
I would like to be involved. I think getting the information, and Chip has a lot of that information on trails that would be essential. And now that we have those 2 brochures, right, we don't know. Are we planning to do a brochure about the footpath
Yes,
eventually? Oh, good.
I think we should.
Not that the map will be really complicated.
Well, that's what John said to me. It's a straight line, Jean,
Yeah.
but I think it would be good to have.
Yeah, I do too, because there's a lot of history there that should, photographs and history.
All right,
That'd just be a one.
Yeah. maybe we
so
can-
it's the 3 of you. Anybody else interested in being involved in the website design?
Just so you know too, there is the beginnings, I think it's gonna go on for a while, a discussion about access, administrator access to the website. So if you have strong feelings about being allowed into the website to make changes yourself, maybe talk to Corinne about that. Because at this point now, it's Corinne and Lisa. And
Right.
we're thinking there's not been much discussion, but there probably will be more coming up in the months ahead about how much access to allow committees to make their own changes. Because as you can imagine, the challenge is there's a lot of information on that website and keeping everything up to date.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else on this topic? So the 3 of you, once the brochure's done?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we're talking after Christmas or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, summer camps.
So all of our summer camps are organized. We have a summer camp happening in each week of the summer, which is pretty exciting. So we start out with an art camp, July 7th through 11th, and then the pickleball camp, the 14th through the 18th. Is that gonna work for you? Yeah. Then we've got a kayak camp. Dan Foster is running that camp, which will be a week-long afternoon session, because I guess he also works at the school during summertime, does summer school. But he's excited about that, and that means for me and for John that the kayaks will be used and appreciated, so. I've been encouraging him to combine it with sort of a kayak fishing, sort of, at least one day or whatever, so. I think that'd be fun for the kids. And then we have 2 weeks of the swim program. And then after that, nature camp. Colleen is doing the nature camp and pre-K nature camp, and she's going to a full week on that pre-K. She said the parents really were disappointed that it was just 3 days.
Both of those are Colleen.
Colleen Cobb. Yeah, both of those are Colleen Cobb. So, and then, and just to sort of skip down, to the swim camp changes. Lauren and Marissa talked about extending the time of the older kids, so there are 4 sections. And they're usually 30 minutes long, so we're planning to extend the 2 older kids or more skilled swimmers to like a 45 minute swim lesson per day, which I think would be good. So my next step is to work up, contracts, director contracts and things like that, and get that set. So I'll work on that over the winter.
Do we know where Dan's gonna go out of?
Dan,
Yeah, with the car.
we're gonna have to ask at, Night Point.
So we have to get a permit for that. Yeah, okay, yep.
I meant to tell you that, so. So Albert Dunes and the Night Point.
Yeah.
I don't think.
And
that's-
Sanborn too, right?
Well, I'm
We'll-
not sure if he's gonna travel.
Oh, okay.
We used to do like 2 sessions, and our afternoon session with kids that we have already, were already, had been through our beginner kayak session. We would take them to a different launch site around the islands every day. So we would be.
But our MOU included all 3
Yeah.
parks.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
But I
That's
have
true.
to add it for the kayak now, so if we can put it on the same one and just have both camps on the same with all 3 areas.
Yeah.
And do that. And the emergency plan?
Did people get a chance to see the final wording about, we had a problem with the person who came, to Mia's nature, art camp last year, and Mia being the first time she's ever been a camp director for us, and not even from this area. Some adult came to the door of the longhouse and insisted on seeing the new kitchen, and sort of walked right through her camp section. And she was like freaking out, but didn't have, I guess, didn't really know, so nothing was on the emergency protocol thing, so we just added that language at the bottom. Does that seem okay to people? Intruders. And we don't,
We never did find out who it was.
no,
Really?
no, it was a little freaky. And we,
But they knew there was a new kitchen.
Yeah.
yeah, they wanted to see that, so,
Very sad.
yeah, how strange is that, it's right, so, it is. And the cell phone service isn't great there.
You can never be too careful. I think if you have
No.
policies, you can say, it's my policy. I think you did a good job.
Yeah.
That's the right thing to do.
Okay, so we have to approve this if there's no other comments? Motion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second,
Any
What?
comments?
Scott made the motion.
All right, we both spoke at the same time.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Anything else with camps? Okay, we started a discussion last time about, Chip was proposing renaming Ingalls and Pilots and adding conservation or something in the midst of it, and so I believe both Scott
I wanted to table it. and think-
Yeah, for the recreation component of it, and I was concerned about the hunting component of it. So I went, looked at Pilots, and we have like 4 names up there at Pilots. We have Pilots Natural Area, we have Pilots Nature Area, we have Pilots Nature Conservation Area, and then I've seen Pilots Conservation Nature Area. Can we land somewhere? Now, the big sign out front says Pilots Nature Area, as you drive in on the left.
That's what I.
I'm sorry, natural area, Pilots Natural Area. It's the same thing's happening at Ingalls, where we have Camp Ingalls North Hero Recreation Area, which is on the big sign, then Camp Ingalls Recreation Area, which is on the small sign on the fence, and then Camp Ingalls Butternut Hill Nature Area on the brochure, Camp Ingalls on the websites. So the reason we had brought it up was to have a discussion about adding conservation in there or not, but can we come to some kind of common ground here?
My thought is that it ought to be conservation lands somewhere in the title, but not conservation area.
So can you give us an example?
Well, on conserved lands or something like
Oh,
that.
like a subtitle in a
Right.
way, okay,
And we called it, we settled on nature area as opposed to natural area.
Right.
Because a natural area wouldn't be maintained.
okay, but that's what the sign has,
And some of the signs do say that,
the
yeah.
big one at the front entrance,
So those are my two thoughts.
okay?
One thought I had after thinking about this is, if we propose, come up with a name, whatever it is. Does the town have to approve that? Because doesn't the town technically own the land, the property?
I don't know, if they'd have to, Tim?
I've never come across that question. I'm not sure. But yes, it's town land, right?
So just be careful about, and maybe we should find out who actually has the authority to name the place.
Well, I should have looked at the planning document too, because the town planning document listed in there, and I'm not sure what it's listed as that.
Because I'm wondering if it's one of the things you said, if I heard you correctly, did something refer to the town of North Carroll, something?
Ingalls did, it said, Camp Ingalls North Carroll Recreation Area on the big sign right
Yeah,
out
so
front.
maybe the town might think they should call it the town of North Carroll, something.
Well, yeah, and Angles was purchased with the federal grant that says that it would stay as a recreation area in perpetuity. Am I correct, Chip?
Yeah, well, I don't know about the specific wording, but absolutely, and that's why when they tried to sell it, they couldn't.
Yeah, but I mean, it's listed as for recreation use in perpetuity. So it is a recreation area.
Well, and it was actually Carl Cobb who was one of the people that said, this is not a natural area, it's a nature area.
Hmm.
So,
But it has
not Carl
implications,
Cobb, Carl Racka.
but it has implications, we'd have to, do we buy a new sign? You know what I mean? Do
Well,
we buy a new
we
sign?
probably, yes. Have to combine some signs. Although most people don't pay any attention to the signs, whatever they say.
That's true.
But Gene, I agree, we should come up with some concrete, simple designation. It might be different for Angles and Pilots, and the footpath. So,
Well, and at Ingalls, we need to say that it's, Butternut Hill, but, and just so you know, the issue with Google Lisa and I must have worked over a period of 9 months to get Google to actually take Camp Ingalls off the railroad track on South End. And we did it, but they wouldn't change, they would not include the word, anything besides, they wouldn't include Butternut Hill. So we gave up. At least Ingalls is the right spot.
I think it has to be changed in Vermont's 911 for Google to change it, because that's what happened at my house.
I have no idea. They didn't say, and of course, dealing with Google is like, you know.
Wow.
So where do we go?
Yeah, any thoughts here?
Why don't we address one at a time?
One location at a time, that's fine.
I like the idea of a subheading. I haven't quite figured out for myself what it might be, but Pilots Nature Area, conserved land of the town of North Hero, or, you know, some, so we don't have to jam it all into one statement.
I would suggest getting clarity on who has the authority to name it before we spend too much time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did name the footpath. I don't know if it's official then.
Yeah, it's just, I think what brought this to mind was there's a whole process in state statute for naming mountains in Vermont.
Mhm.
I think that's- for some reason, something, it's kind of bizarre, but it occurred to me that the town, I mean, if they want to delegate that to this committee, then that's all we need to hear. But I think we should at least give them pose the question.
Jim, you're on.
Well, it sounds to me like if we come up with what the committee would like to call both areas, and then we could check out, maybe that's a question for the town attorney, is what do we do if we want to change names, if we, I would think it would be, you'd want to make it as inclusive as possible when you name something, but we don't want, by calling it a conservation area, are we limiting options? Or a natural area, what are we limiting by that? I think this discussion should continue, but I think it's something we can muddle through for a while. I don't think it needs immediate action. And then that'll give people time to check out, to think about it and to check out. And I agree with John that we have 3 separate areas, and maybe we'll have to do 3 separate things.
But I do think it's important that we get information from the select board in terms of changing names, Tim. You could help us with that, and then we
Okay.
can go there.
Okay. What I will do, I will talk to Corinne and Lisa and just say, this is something that we're thinking of. Does anybody know steps we have to go through, how to be inclusive? But I will start the discussion. I don't think it's select board level yet, but I'll start the discussion with Corinne and Lisa about name changing. It would probably be good if we had some suggestions of what we're thinking about changing it to.
And it's almost clarification.
Well, exactly.
And
And
4 names.
there's also the thing is, everybody, as far as I know, if you say Camp Ingalls, they know what you're talking about. If you say Pilots, they know what you're talking about. So maybe it's just simplifying it, and Camp Ingalls. Because the use of the land is defined.
So I guess what I'm kind of thinking is we're doing these brochures now, we're gonna get a bunch of them printed with maybe the wrong name on it. We have the decision, but I'm also concerned, I guess, I don't know how concerned I am, but another thought is visitors trying to find a place. especially since you're on Pilots Road
Yeah.
too.
And something we don't know too is, Chip brought up, is there a rigmarole we'll need to go through to change it, like on all trails? How's it listed there, or?
Oh, that's Pilots Bay Recreation Area, and Pilots Bay Recreation Loop is what's on all trails.
Okay.
We're having an identity crisis.
We are.
Yeah, yes.
Have another area, maybe just the city's insurance policy, I don't know if the insurance policy gets down to the details in terms of naming geographic areas.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, so it sounds like we need a little research. Do you want to discuss any of the potential ones, or we wait until we hear what the research is?
Why don't we wait until we hear?
Okay,
Yep, okay.
all right, pickleball update.
North Hero Courts shut down mid-October. The only place still playing is in Grand Island, Donaldson. There's new asphalt up in Albert, where the hockey rink was. That got paved, and we set the corners and the placement of the courts. Set screws a couple of weeks ago, but no painting until the spring. And that's, Donaldson will run until the snow flies. We'll keep playing. We played this morning and we're playing tomorrow, right, Bonnie?
Right.
Oh, there is nights. So the Act 250 permit is tentatively approved
Yeah,
based on the stormwater permit application, which we expect the end of November.
That's great.
It's great.
So that could be
Exciting.
ready to rock and roll, probably not this fall, but in the spring.
And this one we never end, so.
Mhm.
All winter.
There you go.
Anything else with pickleball?
No, that's it.
Chip, the programs that you had suggested last time.
Right, there's two of them. One of them is a tree program in early winter. And I haven't done more than just talk to Caroline about it, but I'm hoping that Mary Jo and Bernie will consider.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm sure Caroline will be fine with that.
This time, I think we'll we'll label the tree program kids.
we'll check with the school too, that they're not having a
Yeah.
sleepover.
Yes,
Anyway.
we will.
And the
Second
second
date,
program was an adult program. That at last time, we talked briefly about timing, sort of mid-April, towards the end, when people will start to get out. But it would be an evening program that I would, or Saturday, probably an evening program. Maybe Saturday, but those are the two that I'm thinking about. I've already started collecting tree cookies so that kids can practice counting rings and think about different ways that we can engage kids in thinking about trees.
I think we have some in our supply closet at Ingles. Bunch of tree cookies. I'll check on that.
I've got a cedar post, I've got some too.
Mm.
Got a cedar post.
That's good.
The ones we did for. Lots.
Well, I thought I was gonna limit it to maybe 4 trees, cedars being one of them, maybe 5, because, anyway, and I talked to Tim about going down with a chainsaw and getting a tree cookie from one of our felled
Yeah,
ash trees, big one.
regular big one.
There's some big ones sitting alongside, the Longhouse.
Up there.
Anyone needs firewood, it's there.
Well, I'm only gonna take a.
It's
big as this chainsaw.
I was thinking it's just something that's maybe 3 inches wide.
Well, we got 'em. It's big though.
Just some.
Yes.
Oh, no, they're actually bucked up. They're all,
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
a Bill Barron's program, I think, isn't it? Or was
That
it
was the ash tree removal program we did a couple years
just-
ago.
no.
Any other?
No, but if there are any questions, I have to leave. I can't sit in that chair anymore. I can't stand here.
Okay,
All right.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
Mary Jo, you were gonna check to see what PTYO was up to this fall and whether they needed the funding.
Yes, and they sent you, I thought they sent you a bill for that. Mary Ellen said she was going to do that. I'll
Oh,
check.
haven't seen it yet.
All right, well, that was several weeks ago, so I'll check with her again. I was in touch with her about letting us know when they were having a sleepover, so we wouldn't have the same problem we had with the BATS program where no kids came because they were having the sleepover the night before. And she said she would try to remember, but I will just keep on top of that. But she did say that they wanted whatever the regular amount of money that we give them for Halloween and Christmas. And
Mary Jo, excuse me, but when the school was out at Engels a few weeks ago, I specifically asked Mary Ellen about the Halloween and Christmas programs that we normally contribute, I believe it's money, gift certificates. She
Yeah.
said they weren't doing that. They are not doing that this year because it really wasn't, that popular.
All right,
But-
I will get in touch. I'll see what,
Double
I
check
don't
with
know.
her.
A lot of my emails just got erased, so it's hard for me to go back. So I think I will look at my emails and then I'll just get in touch with her this week. I'll
Okay,
get in
good.
touch with her
Thanks.
tomorrow because she did give me a something, and maybe it was as the cookies for Santa, as opposed to the gift certificates. I'll get in touch with her and I'll get back to you this week or next week.
So what we've done before is up to $200 per event, and if they go over, she pays for the overage.
Yeah, I thought that's what we talked about. Anyway, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
I'll be in
Anything else on this? Okay, Great Ice. The first meeting isn't until December, but we're talking about doing the snowshoeing again at Ingalls, if you're interested in doing that. And I was wondering I don't know if we can or not, because last year we were pretty successful at having a booth at the expo, a table at the expo. We were able to get some money for scholarships and
Yeah.
stuff. So I was gonna ask again, if everyone's interested in doing that, I was gonna ask again if we could have
I'll
another
do it.
table
I'll
there.
do it again.
Okay?
It's the raffle, right?
The rest.
Well, yeah, we did a raffle at the same time. That was,
That's
And we can
how-
have the brochures
right, we
there.
had the brochures and we had that fold out
Yeah.
camp thing,
Right.
advertising. There you go.
That was fun.
But that's where we earned the money with the raffle tickets, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm willing to do that. I think we had 3 of us last
Yeah, I'll do
time.
it again also.
Did you do it?
Okay, so he said he limits the number of nonprofits, but I'll ask him again and get another table there, so. And probably know in December, sometime in December. Okay, finances. There was one additional invoice that came in late, which is Murray's Plumbing for the plumbing work that John spoke about, and that's $275. So we have 3 bills for payment. I'm just gonna rattle all 3 of them off for approval. $275 for Murray the plumber. The sticks and stuff, which I believe is what was yeah, Chip was talking about was $40.23 for the boards for the boardwalk. And then Robinson's Paint, $61.99 for Ingalls. So looking for a motion to pay all those, approve all those.
So moved.
Second,
I
Uh,
said,
Second, who was the second? Excuse me.
Scott?
Scott?
why?
You very quiet.
any comments? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried to pay all those. Pre-approvals. So, don't need that, I don't need that. I'm gonna ask for $100 for pre-approval so I can go get the kayak and the swimming permits from the state. I think they're $50, but I don't know if I have to have individual ones for the kayak and the swim as separate events. And so I'm gonna ask for pre-approval for 100 and probably do that in December sometime.
And, I do have to pick up,
Wait, we don't have an approval on this.
I know, I'm just, you wanna do
Can we-
them separately?
Why don't we do those separately? Yeah.
Okay.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Second, any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so that's for the parks.
And I need to pick up some stuff at Robinson's tomorrow, but it's not enough. I don't even know if we need to pre-approve it. We'll just can approve it in the next meeting.
Okay,
It'll be on the town's account. It's less than $50.
why don't we do the $50
Okay.
and then as soon as it shows up, we can just pay it.
Okay,
So moved.
Second.
kitchen supplies.
All right.
And the toolbox.
Okay, we've got,
Who made the second?
I did.
All right, thank you.
any comments? Okay, up to $50 for Ingalls Supplies from Robinsons. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that's approved. And did you want, do we have to do anything for the electrician? For
I-
Tracy?
No, I thought we approved that already.
I don't know if we,
It's listed. Did we pre-approve that?
you had given us an estimate, we'd never pre-approved that.
Okay.
You said $600 to $700 the last time.
And I would just wait till we get till he finalizes. 'Cause he
Okay.
hasn't billed us yet.
Okay, so no pre-approval.
I told him to go ahead and bill us for the rough end because I wasn't sure when I was gonna get in there to finish up, but he hasn't.
Okay.
He's been busy.
He's been busy.
Yeah. Anything else that anyone's
She-
aware of that we should pre-approve? Yeah,
no, not that. I found Mary Ellen's email when you're ready for it.
okay. Any other pre-approvals? Okay, and just one more word on this finance update, since a couple invoices came in and I finally got the reports from the town. I did update the numbers. There's really, other than the 275, there's not really much difference in what I had told you. So right now, with all the estimates and stuff and all the bills that we paid, we have about $1,000 free. But there's wiggle room in some of the other space. And then my understanding is for the next year's budget, it's already gone through the select board and no comments.
It's all up
That's
to,
right.
all up to residents' approval now.
Yep. Yep. All right, Mary Jo, what was it that you had?
Well,
You emailed?
I had asked Mary Ellen about what they wanted from us for the fall and to let us know about their plans so that we can make our plans around it. So she says she'll send the rec committee our paid invoices for the Harvest Fest and the cookies for Santa. I'll get in touch with her again and see if she's going to maybe do that together because they've already had the Harvest Fest. And she can definitely try to let us know, but she and Desiree are working around their own schedules, planning. They're planning a lot of fundraising activities because the budget was slashed so much. So I'll be in touch with her again, but she did say she would send them to us. I'll see when she's gonna do that.
Can I step back and get pre-approval for up to $400 for the PTYO events?
So moved.
Second, any comments?
How much was that, 100?
Up to $400.
Can't write that fast, Jamie.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. And Michael seconded, right?
Any comments? All in favor?
Alright.
Any opposed? Okay, that's motion's carried. Bernie is asking if we could move the meeting to the following week, next December 10th.
I'm
Next
having
meeting at
a
December
shoulder replacement next week, so December 2nd, I won't be able to write very long. I'm not a lefty, but I don't think I'll have the energy to do it, but
Give it a chance.
Yeah.
I won't be here that week, but he's actually driving a U-Haul truck from Arizona to Iowa. I don't think-
well, have a fun adventure on
Not yet.
that. I don't-
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to drive through Texas and other states.
Oh, God, good luck.
They're good places.
The
Yeah.
10th is good.
Yes, it's okay,
I'm calling in because I'll be in Florida.
yeah.
Nice.
Show up? Maybe.
Any other,
Yeah.
anything else for the meeting?
Just so people know, I don't know if you've heard, Andy is not doing Great Ice this year. Greg and Jenna are. So I think the structure will still be the same, but Greg and Jenna will be doing the organizing.
All right, anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
So moved.
Was that, wait, okay,
Second.
All right. Any comments? All in favor?
I
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we're adjourned.
Night.
Good night.
What is this red line?